wasn't on.
You're crazy.
See, I'm getting all excited. Real quick, we gotta do that again. Okay, we good? The blue light is on? Okay.
Really is a story that takes you through that journey of healing to the place where a voice was birthed. And voice is my passion. I feel like there is purpose in my pain, if you will. And that purpose is to educate people about child sexual abuse and is to help the next generation be protected.
So I initially got in my car and started going to the areas that had the highest levels of head and neck cancer that I was seeing in my clinic there. And I focused on the top 3 zip codes, and in particular I focused on homeless shelters and faith-based institutions. Initially doing head and neck cancer talks.
Now, Aidan Lanner is proven to be the leader in fighting the AIDS epidemic here in Atlanta, but they're also known and have grown to be one of the largest, most comprehensive AIDS services organization in the Southeast. And today we're going to have a chance to talk with them, so come along.
Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Moore, and you are watching The Nan Ross Show.
Bankhead, Atlanta. Have you heard of this location? Well, this district has been mentioned from one of the most popular hip-hop artists, T.I. Now, although the zip code 30314 may be famous in the hip-hop community, but this area has the highest poverty rate and the highest percentage of head and neck cancer in Atlanta. So on today's episode, Reggie Juzang and I paid a visit to the City of Refuge, located here in Bankhead, Atlanta. We had the privilege to converse with Dr. Charles Moore, the founder of Healing Center Community Clinic, a not-for-profit organization providing free health education, health screening, and medical assistance. Believe it or not, these services are available to anyone, but primarily for the homeless, the uninsured, and the medically underserved. Let's tune in.
So I was going to really all the areas around here except for this location in particular, and one of my patients was also very active here and kept telling me, you really need to go to City of Refuge. So I finally came here, saw all that they were doing, but the one thing that they didn't have was medical care. And so really they offered me space that we're currently in, which is the Healing Community Center, which is a clinic that addresses health issues in a comprehensive, integrated fashion. And we collaborate with a number of the organizations and other resources in the area to provide these comprehensive services, all free.
Okay, so Dr. Moore, tell us a little bit more about the health issue that you've been experiencing for some members, or
Sure.
Would it be considered members?
Well, clients, patients, members.
Okay.
What we see a lot here are issues related to hypertension and diabetes, also asthma, and some early stages of various types of cancer. What we have done is try to screen for all or as much of that as we can, and then connect, if it's not a resource that we provide here in our health facility or with resources immediately in the vicinity, connect them with other resources that can help address those problems.
Okay.
And then also in terms of different types of cancers, for me in particular, head and neck cancer, we see that in this area, tobacco usage is quite high. Alcohol usage is quite high, and those are tobacco in particular is one of the main factors that lead to head and neck cancer, but also lead to heart disease, can lead to lung cancer. And I think that the way that things are advertised in the area just tends to promote it and doesn't necessarily let people know what all the effects are from that.
The risk factors.
Right.
Okay. Well, as far as, let's just say, there's a patient who is a smoker and a drinker. Are there certain symptoms that they would get if they could have cancer? I mean, you got to think about a lot of people do not go to the doctor and say, hey, I'm going to get a cancer screening.
Right.
So are there some type of symptoms?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For head and neck cancer in particular, one of the things that you can do is when you're brushing your teeth, you can look in your mouth, look for ulcers or different plaques, like a white plaque, or changes in the lining of the mouth or on the tongue, or a sore that doesn't heal. If something doesn't heal for, say, a week to 2 weeks, then you should see a health professional to try and have them address it.
So that's the sore inside the mouth, or it could be outside?
Could be both. Could be both. Okay. And you can also, when you're taking a shower or bathing, feel your neck and feel if you feel a lump or a mass anywhere there. And if that is something that doesn't go away, you should seek medical care somewhere. Now, many dentists now will, in addition to cleaning your teeth, and oral health in general is something that we need to focus more attention on, will do neck exams and feel for head and neck cancer as well. Okay. But that, again, it's something that you can do at home in the mirror, and just periodically check yourself as women do breast self-exams. You can do the same thing with looking in your mouth and looking under your tongue and feeling your neck and looking at your palate and hard palate, the areas at the top of your mouth, to see if there are any changes there that are unusual or concerning. Okay.
So other than tobacco use and alcohol, what are some other, maybe some habits or anything that can contribute to cancer?
Well, for head and neck cancer, those are really the biggest. Okay. Those are the biggest of that. Okay.
So it's not hereditary, or
there may be some familial connection, but recently some studies have indicated that HPV may play a role in head and neck cancer as well.
What's HPV?
Human papillomavirus. You may have heard about that more with cervical cancer.
Okay.
And so some more recent studies are starting to indicate that it may play a role in head and neck cancer as well. And I think just in general, if you look at the area that we serve primarily, we did a survey of people not only in this immediate complex but around the community. One of the other things that they said was a big concern was that they would like to have is some form of counseling, either mental health support or even spiritual support, or just someone that they could talk to express the types of things that they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. So you will be providing that, maybe the educational,
yes,
so that's more in the educational program.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And what we've done thus far is through School of Public Health at both Emory and Morehouse, we provide health education classes that include a variety of topics, of which that is included as well.
Okay. So, I guess talk a little bit more about the health educational program.
The eating, exercise. For kids, we even talk about hygiene habits, about washing your hands, and about cleaning your body, and what germs are, and how to avoid spreading germs with colds and cough, how to brush your teeth. We have programming for diabetics, specifically the types of things to eat, and how to make sure that you're not having signs that your diabetes is out of control. We are starting soon a smoking cessation class, so that folks that have a desire to try to want to stop smoking have some type of support system in place so that they're able to be successful.
Okay.
So we really try to provide as much as possible to address all of those issues.
Okay.
What got you inspired to be a throat and ear doctor?
For me, it goes back quite a ways. In my youth, I used to volunteer at a home for the deaf, blind, and multi-handicapped from about the age of 8 through 18. When I got old enough to be hired, they hired me on staff. And when I was younger, what happened is my sister worked there, and I would, tag along with her, and then I got more and more involved and just continued to volunteer there. And that exposed me to a number of people that had head and neck issues and hearing related issues, and so I became interested that way. And then I went to college and found that I love science, and I've always liked to help people in some form or fashion. And so it came together for me that I wanted to go to medical school, went to medical school, and loved everything that I saw related to ear, nose, and throat, and just pursued that.
For those, you said you have a pretty much open door for for the community at large. I know that there's certain segments in the community that you target on. What if someone does come here who may have an illness of some sort, who may wants to go a naturopathic way, meaning that they don't want to use any type of medications because of fear of side effects? Is there a regimen that you have that, or that you may be associated with, that you can refer them to that can assist with that?
What we can do is refer them to other sources. Currently, we don't have a naturopath on site, and what I'd like to do is provide all the options to folks. That's not something that I was trained in, and so that's not something that I feel that I can adequately give people enough information about. So that's not the way that we approach it. But eventually, I'd like to bring a naturopath on site as well.
Do you see the medical profession becoming, over the course of time, being more embracive of alternatives
I
as
think
opposed
so.
to pharmaceuticals?
I think so. I think what we've seen is that there are a number of places that are starting to include that in their armamentarium, and that really many of the substances that are used by a naturopath are very similar to the medications that are given. I think from my standpoint, what I've seen is that several of the things of the medications that are ultimately prescribed come from some of those same things. From my perspective, the ones that are prescribed are just studied to a higher level, and so you know exactly what is in each pill, or you have a better idea of what is in it.
Well, we're just leaving from the City of Refuge. Just finished talking to Peggy Dickerson and Sabrina Nichols, two women who are currently homeless. They've been at the City of Refuge when Peggy a month and a half,